Welcome everyone. In this presentation, the system we will be discussing about is Skype, and we will be mainly focusing about peer-to-peer architecture used by Skype's video conferencing feature and its scalability, performance and security. To start by, I will give a brief introduction about Skype. Skype was developed by Kazaa in the year of 2003. We all know that Skype is an application, is a telecommunication application that allows users to place voice calls, video calls, send messages using various of platforms like desktop, mobile and other Linux and many more. Skype became famous among the community within few years after its initial launch. According to Microsoft, Skype had more than 300 million monthly active users in the year of 2015. Skype became dominant over a decade, but now it has faced so many challenges with the other competitive video conferencing applications. Right now, Skype is going down, but it has a better voice quality than MSN and Yahoo instant messaging applications. Also, Skype allows you to have landline calls, but not emergency calls. Let's understand the architecture which was used by Skype and the reason for it. Yes, Skype is using a peer-to-peer architecture, and it was the first peer-to-peer IP telephony network that was developed. Skype P2P architecture is a completely decentralized network of peer nodes that are both client and server. Through this architecture, Skype was able to reduce cost when setting up the network and increase performance when the clients join the network. So this is one of the most important reasons that Skype selected peer-to-peer architecture to develop their application. In the year of 2012, Microsoft altered the design of the network and brought all the supernodes under their control as hosted servers in data centers. Therefore, scalability, availability, and many other quality attributes were improved and increased. An ordinary host must connect to a supernode and must authenticate itself with the Skype login server. That means that the Skype is having an authentication process in order to log in a user. Skype login server is an important entity in the Skype network, as usernames and passwords are stored at the login server and validated and it validates that the usernames are unique across its namespace.
Video conferencing in Skype analysis. Video conferencing is the one of the best feature in Skype, and it is totally free service. It will connect people with their colleagues in other stations, friends and family members around the world. User need an internet connection and Skype installed devices such as PCs, Macs or mobile to access the Skype video conferencing. And the group members are limited to 50 people and each member must have at least 1 MB bandwidth. Moving on to next slide, there are 4 types of video conferencing available in Skype, such as web conferencing, audio and video conferencing, dial-in conferencing and instant message conferencing. When you're considering about web conferencing, this allows meeting attendees to collaborate on documents shared during the meeting and the meeting presenter to share the application through the Skype for business clients. There are 4 features of web conferencing. Those are web whiteboard and annotation, polling, application sharing and desktop sharing, and PowerPoint sharing. Next, audio and video conferencing. This allows audio and video feature in the meeting. An audio feature provide two capability of talk each other, such as feeling like they are in the same room. And by turning on video, the attendees can see each other. And there are some features of audio and video conferencing. Those are audience mute, conferencing entry and exit announcements, adding user by dialing out, gallery view, video spotlight, and presenter only video mode. Moving on to next slide, there are some disadvantages of using Skype video conferencing. Those are Multi-party audio-video conference call-in reliability is low. The Skype is good for person to person, but after starting adding some more participants, it will give some difficulties to manage. Audio and visual integration. It is not easy to connect meeting room AV system. And audio not clear to multiple people, less secure and confidential, and finally, less quality of audio and video conferencing.
Let's see how quality attributes affect the system success. The first quality attribute is scalability. Because of peer-to-peer architecture, the system available for more users and it covers wider area. When more users use the system, network grows. Each node acts as a client as well as server. Peers can be added and removed from the peer-to-peer network with no significant impact, resulting in great scalability for the whole system. The next quality attribute is security. The problem in peer-to-peer architecture is messages are passing node by node. In here, message is passing to every node and every client in each node can read the message. The problem is solved by using end-to-end encryption technique. Another security mechanism used in Skype is when new user registered with the system, user need to provide unique username and password. Then Skype generate public and private keys. The private key and hash of the password are stored in user's computer. Then 256-bit advanced encryption standard encrypted session is established with the Skype server. To generate session key, it uses random number generator which used for cryptographic purposes. The next quality attribute is performance. In other video conferencing tools, to get HD quality video calls, users need to get paid plans. But in Skype, quality of the calls is dependent on user's internet connection. If user has good internet connection, user can get HD calls. If user's internet connection is low, user get the video calls with low quality. Users can share files, audios, videos with other users, but if we set large files, it gets quite slow to upload. Skype has a feature called interoperability. Interoperability means computer system or software to exchange and make use of information. Skype users can make text-only conversation or audio-video calls with the Teams users. This is capable in every platforms in desktop, web and mobile. The P2P overlay network can be used for a variety of use cases and it can easily start up another network if one is taken down, which means there is no single point of failure. Now let's look how the Skype architecture evolved over time. Peer-to-peer architecture officially changed to server-based architecture in 2018. The reason for changing peer-to-peer architecture is desktop apps built using peer-to-peer architecture no longer dominant. Need to support mobile platforms. Mobile offline messaging suggestions, server-side search, browser-state business logic and service implementation in clients cannot do P2P media and E2E encryption in server-based systems. Because peer-to-peer systems are decentralized, managing security, data consistency, and data service availability, backup, and recovery are more complex tasks. When migration to modern service architecture, supernodes move to the data center, chat move to the messenger chat service, calling, file transfer, contacts move to the new service, calling, signaling, and chat messages are relayed through servers. Now let's look what are the trade-offs. Although peer-to-peer architecture increases the security and scalability of the application, there are some limitations. Therefore, features can be improved up to a certain limit. P2P network has one of the best scalability features. Even if extra clients are joined, the performance of the network will remain the same to a certain limit. Once the number of devices connecting the network increases, there will be a performance downgrade since each computer being accessed by other users. Hence, peer-to-peer network doesn't work well with growing networks. Here are my recommendations. When user left the group, it automatically deleted that group. If user need to any information or file later, they cannot recover them. Another major problem is if the file is older than 30 days, it is unable to download that file. Therefore, it is recommended to provide more space within application to save files and other resources according to user preference. As I mentioned earlier, there is a lag while trying to send large files as an attachment. When compared to other computers, it is recommended to improve uploading performance of Skype. Skype do not have language translation. Therefore, it is recommended to introduce language translation service to Skype. It would be more helpful when dealing with people from different regions of the world. Sometimes the video quality is not good and the software picks background noise too quickly. It is recommended to improve audio quality of calls because it is a major problem of Skype users.
Staying competitive. Let's understand how Skype video conferencing stayed competitive with the other video conferencing applications out there. In the introduction, I explained about the architecture used by Skype and its benefit. Also, I mentioned that more than 300 million monthly active users were reported by Microsoft in the year of 2015. To have millions of users, it is not possible to expand this in one country or to have millions of users. We need to expand this around the world in order to have millions of users every month. The architecture which is used by Skype is peer-to-peer, and this will help assist Skype to achieve this. Also, the minimum infrastructure to establish a communication network in remote areas without a central configuration is another advantage which led Skype to stay competitive with the other video conferencing applications. Peer-to-peer network is not dependent on a centralized system. There are advantages as well as disadvantages of this. So one of the advantages is that even if one part of the network fail, it will not disrupt the other parts because they are working independently, right? Even if many users join, the performance of the network will remain the same. So that is a really good advantage of the system, because when more users join, the system will be more powerful. So that is really good. And the connected devices can provide and consume resources at the same time. Also, locating and downloading online files are very easy. So these are like the advantages, or these are the reasons that led Skype to be competitive. And the backup is made very difficult. So earlier I explained that the system, the P2P architecture is centralized. Is not centralized, therefore there is no data in a central server. Therefore, managing or backupping data is very difficult. So this has to be done separately on each device, which requires a 3G Wi-Fi service to run. And so these are like this is not the only disadvantage. Right now we all know that Skype is going down when compared to other applications like Zoom and MS Teams and other video conferencing applications. Skype video conferencing is going down. So in order to find out the specific reason for this, I made a graph, I made a table by comparing other applications, other famous applications with Skype video conferencing. So Skype Business, which is the video conferencing, with Zoom video conferencing, Cisco, MS Team video conferencing, Google Meet video conferencing. So from this I compared the audio and video quality, because we are discussing about the architecture. According to the community and the other sources, the audio and video quality in Skype for Business, in the initial it was really good, but now when the competition arose, the audio and video quality is really bad. From that, video quality is very bad in Skype because because the battery drainage is very high when using Skype. So that is very bad. And the best audio and video quality was reported by MS Teams and Zoom. The security, Skype is more secure than Zoom. So this is actually due to the hackers call this as Zoom bombing, which allows strangers to hijack your meeting. This is related to Zoom, and they can also exploit and get your saved history and saved history of recordings and then listen to them. So this is some security issues of Zoom, so this will be fixed. But the most secure application, video conferencing application, is MS Teams. So from this we can understand that Skype, the reason for Skype to fail mainly depend on the audio and video quality as well as on the security. And also another key factor that I found was the user interface, but this is not considered when comparing, when discussing about the peer-to-peer architecture, so I did not include in here. But through my research I understood that user interface also led Skype to fail. And also I did not stop here. I also researched about the features to see whether users attracted other services due to its features. But here surprisingly, all the services are providing equal services, except I found something in Skype for Business video conferencing, that personal meeting groups is not a feature. So this is very essential these days, so this might be they are available later. Other than that, every feature is provided by every service. And also I also took a statistic of the detailed statistic about the failure of Skype. And here I did not consider years of Skype, because we already know that Skype is a very good application. When it was launched initially, the video conferencing was really good, but when the competition came, Skype went a little bit down due to those two key factors. And right now Skype is going very down due to these factors. And you can see the leading is Teams, MS Teams, and Skype for Business is going really down.
Okay, so now I'm going to give you a brief summary about what we talked earlier. What we talked earlier was the peer-to-peer architecture used in Skype's video conferencing feature, its scalability, security, and performance. Skype is the first client who used voice over internet protocols and peer-to-peer technology together. But Skype's peer-to-peer architecture was a complete decentralized network of peer nodes that are both client and server. It was a very successful combination compared to traditional VoIP and P2P technologies. But Skype has decided to decommission this technology in 2018 due to various reasons, like not supporting to new platforms, complexity in completing various tasks like managing security, recovery, backup, and many more. Now, Skype is using a server-based architecture. Skype has significantly high security and high cloud storage compared to other competitors. It also can accommodate or host up to 250 participants. Skype has took many steps to improve its performance, scalability, and security, like using encryption, hashing, and key generating technologies, and introducing various new features like audience mute, live captions and subtitles, background replays, split view, grid view, and many more. From the Skype's beta version 0.9, several new features are added in version 2, 3.1, 4, 4.1, and now in 5.3. The original version of the application allows only voice calls from PC to PC and little more else. But finally comes to the new version 5.3, there are many more features added, like screen sharing, improved video calling quality, uh, increased number of participants, and many more. In conclusion, we can say that video conferencing feature is one of the best services provided by Skype. Thank you.